class.
Well, hi everyone and welcome. My name's Megan and today's class is going to be Bailey the Bunny. We are going to be crocheting this adorable Bailey the Bunny that comes from this loops and thread kit. So this is a loops and thread kit that is only available at Michael's. So if you don't have this kit, I highly recommend buying the kit. The pattern that we're going to be using today is in the kit. All the materials that you need are in the kit. The only other things you might need besides the kit is you may want to have a stitch counter and you may want to have a pair of scissors, but everything else that you need, including the needle and the hooks and all of those kinds of things, are included in this kit. Now, unfortunately, the only way that you can get the pattern that we're going to be using today is by buying the kit. So buying the kit is you buying the pattern. And then once you've bought the pattern, you can feel free to keep using the pattern. So I made this one using everything that came in the kit. And then I got some of our other Michael's Loops and Threads yarn in some different colors. And I was able to use that same pattern in order to create another little friend for Bailey the Bunny. So you can make these in lots of different colors, but you really do need to kind of purchase the kit to get access to all the materials and supplies, including the pattern that you need. So if you don't have the kit, and if you're not quite ready today, this video is going to come up on YouTube. And like Felicia said, hopefully by the end of business today, we'll be able to get that video available for you. So follow our Michael's YouTube channel so that you can get all of the new videos as they come out. And once you have this kit, the purpose of this class is kind of do some troubleshooting. So if you've tried the kit at all and maybe you've stumbled or maybe you're not really that great at reading patterns yet and you need a little bit of help, this is kind of a help class. This is definitely not going to be a class that you will be able to do the entire project from start to finish because honestly, as many of you know who are crocheters, it's going to take some time to make this. So this is about an 8-hour project. I would say that if I'm watching a good TV show, I can definitely get it done in a weekend, just a couple hours here and there in order to complete the project. But this is not something we're going to be able to complete together in class today. So keep that in mind. If you are new to crochet, this is actually an advanced level kit. One of the reasons why I think it's advanced is because the type of yarn. So the stitches themselves are not very difficult to learn. We're really just going to use single crochets. There is a magic ring involved. So if you've ever struggled with magic ring, that might be a place that you might stumble up on. But overall, the pattern is pretty easy to follow. The stuffing, the sewing, all of the assembly is fairly easy to do as well. I think the reason why this is an advanced kit is because the yarn that we'll be using is a chenille yarn, and chenille is fuzzy. And so chenille itself can be a little bit tricky. It can sometimes be furry, it can sometimes unravel, it can sometimes form knots, or it can sometimes stretch and break. So I think the thing is that the reason why this is advanced is because it's harder to see your stitches if you're new to crocheting using this type of yarn. But this type of yarn allows for the softest bunny you can possibly imagine. So the yarn is amazing and the yarn is soft. And this is meant to be kind of like a little floppy. It's not fully stuffed. The only part that's stuffed is the head. So it kind of can just flop around and be a little child's friend. It doesn't have any plastic. This is all yarn. So that's another reason why this is better for younger kids and things like that too. A little safer that way so there's no plastic eyes or anything that anyone can choke on. So with all that being said, what I'm going to do in today's class is I'm going to be showing you my pattern, and you'll see that on the overhead. And then you can kind of follow along. If you have any yarn and you'd like to kind of try what we're doing, just try along with me. I'll show you and I'll kind of explain things as we go with the pattern. And you feel free to try and stitch along. And then if you are able to go purchase this, you can either order it online or you can go to your local Michael's and pick one up. Then you can watch this video again later and hopefully you'll be able to come up with some of the different spots that we might be able to show you. So I have a couple of, I was telling Felicia before the class, I have several bunny parts laying around my desk, which I think is hilarious. I have some bunny legs and some bunny ears and some bunny tails. So I have some of this already done. We'll get started and I'll kind of show you how to get started. And then I will use a little bit of movie magic and kind of skip ahead because I have some of these pieces already done to show you some things that will happen later in the pattern. So this is not going to be a complete start to finish class. This is going to jump around a bit. So I don't want you to get frustrated with that. I just want you to know that this is going to be available on YouTube for you to come back and watch. But ask me questions, especially if you want to try and play along. Ask me questions, ask me to repeat things, ask me to show you something again, and I'm happy to do that. So here is our kit, and voila, we have a beautiful kit. We have all this beautiful chenille yarn. We have it in the gray, we have it in the white, and then we have a little bit of pink, a little bit of black. We have 2 hooks. We have some polyfill, and we have our plastic yarn needle. So we have everything we need to make this bunny in this pack, including the instructions and the pattern that I mentioned. So because we have Michael's stores in the US and we have them in Canada, we have the pattern in French and we have the pattern in English. So I'm going to be using the English version today, and I'm going to be showing this to you as we go. But really, again, the only way that you can get this pattern is by buying the kit. So that's not something I can give to you for free. So we have our bunny kit. We have a bunch of abbreviations that it tells you about. One of the things to pay attention to are the colors of the yarn. So CA stands for the gray yarn, CB stands for the white yarn. They're going to give you the typical abbreviations in order to have, my kit only has 1 hook. Yeah, that it should only have 1. You don't need 2. I don't know why mine has 2 hooks in it. I'm not sure. So they might have changed that up, but honestly, you only need the 1 hook and that's just fine. But yeah, thanks for participating, and feel free to ask questions like that in the chat. That helps. After this class is over, we need about 2 hours or so, and then we're usually able to get it up on YouTube pretty quickly after that. So the YouTube link doesn't exist yet, but as soon as this live class is over, then we'll come back and you'll be able to go to the Michael's YouTube channel and see this. We have some of our pretty typical stitches, 2 single crochets together to decrease things, some single crochets, some increases and decreases. You do need to know how to do a magic ring in order to start several of these different things. So yes, grab any kind of yarn in any kind of hook, and we are going to start with the very first part, which is going to be making the legs. So this is an advanced kit, so they are assuming that you have some crochet knowledge, but in case you need it, they have how to make the magic ring. They have some single crochet, increasing and decreasing instructions with some visuals, and they have the written instructions that go along with that. So then I'm going to start down here with the legs, and down here it says, we're going to make 2 of these legs, and one of the legs is going to turn into the rest of the body, and I'll show you how that works. So in order to start this, it says round 1, RS, we're going to, with CB, make an MR. So all of this is to say, we're going to take the white yarn, that's what CB is, we're going to make a magic ring, we're going to chain 1, and we're going to put 6 single crochets into the ring. So we need to start with our magic ring, and we need to start with our white yarn. So here's my white fluffy chenille yarn. I'm going to pull a little piece out, and I'm going to show you a magic ring using a non-chenille yarn first, and then I'm going to come back just so that you can kind of see what is happening. So if you've never done a magic ring before, I usually use 2 fingers. This is my left hand, and I'm using these 2 fingers. I'm draping the yarn and holding it with my thumb, and then I'm going to wrap it around, and when I wrap it around, I'm going to cross over, make a cross. So I've draped it, I have it on diagonal, I've wrapped it around, then I'm going to flip my fingers over, and you see the 2 yarns. You're going to take your hook, so my hook is now in between my fingers. I'm going to hook this yarn, and I'm going to pull it through, and then I'm going to go through the yarn, just the first layer of yarn underneath my fingers, get it on my hook, and then I'm going to pull up and over in order to make my magic ring. I'll show this again. And if you're stuck on magic ring is definitely a staple of a lot of different amigurumi kits. So it's something you're going to use a lot. So go ahead and watch some other videos to get yourself used to that. There are other ways to do this magic ring besides the way I just showed you, but that's one. And the purpose of the magic ring is kind of like a slip knot. It's going to be movable and you're going to be able to slide it and be able to get to the whole entire, close up that whole space. So I'm going to do it with my white yarn now. I'm holding it. I'm crossing over, wrapped around. Now I'm looking at my fingers this way. And the goal is to take your hook and grab this yarn and pull this yarn through and twist it, and then come back and hook the yarn again. So I'm going to go through, pull it through, let go. Sorry about that. Go through. And then I'm going to go through just that first layer right here. And then I'm going to take the bottom loop off of my hook, and that's how I complete my magic ring. And then I like to kind of straighten out my tail, but you know that you have a magic ring if it looks like this. And if I pull on this, I can make this ring get smaller, or I can pull on this and make this ring get larger. But the point of this magic ring is that we can shrink it up so that there's no space left in the circle. So now that I have the magic ring on my pattern, it says to chain one. So I'm just going to chain my one by yarning over and pulling through. And then I'm going to do 6 single crochets into this magic ring. So for my single crochet, I'm going to go into the ring. I'm going to yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, and pull through both. That's 1. Through my ring, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. That's 2. Through the ring, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through these 2. That's 3. 1, 2, 3. Through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both. 4, 5, and 6. And at this point, I usually like to have a stitch marker. So I'm about to pull this magic ring nice and tight. So I'm pulling on the tail of the magic ring. And remember, this is chenille, so it does sometimes fray. So be careful when you're pulling. Don't pull too hard that you're going to snap the yarn. And I'm going to pull that so that it closes up. And if we don't get it closed up all the way, that's okay. But this is honestly why I think that this pattern is called an advanced pattern, because with this type of yarn, it can be tricky to be able to see these stitches. Whereas if we were using a different, less fluffy yarn, it would be a lot easier to see the stitches. So I'm putting a stitch marker behind my hook where I mark my 6th stitch. And remember, we chained 1 at the beginning. So you should have a chain 1, and then you should have 6 different V's. And they are a little tricky to see, sorry. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and my stitch marker is on the 6th one. So the next part of this says, we're flipping over our instructions, and now we're on this page. And it says for round 2 to do 2 single crochets into each of those stitches in order to make 12 stitches. So we're going to do 2 single crochets in each of those 6 stitches, and we're going to end up with a total of 12 stitches. So I'm going to go into the whole V. So here's my first stitch. So when you have the whole stitch, you should have 2 different little pieces of the V. I'm going to yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and I'm doing 2 stitches into that same space. So I'm going to put the hook through that same space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. I have 2 stitches in the first one. Then I'm going to go to the next V formation, and I'm going to stick my hook under that to grab both parts of that V. It is a little hard to see with the chenille, but I do have 2 parts right there. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. 2 stitches going in this same spot. So I have 2 stitches and 2 stitches. I go to my third stitch. I grab both parts of the stitch onto my hook. Make sure I have both parts. And I'm going to yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through, put another stitch into that same space I have, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, going into the next stitch, grab both parts, there you go, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through, another single crochet. This is my 5th stitch. I'm putting 2 stitches into this one, 2 single crochets, and I'm at my last stitch, and I'm going to put 2 single crochets into this one where my stitch marker is. Now, if you go around and count, you should have a total of 12 stitches going all the way around. And then I'm going to put my stitch marker right behind where my hook is, and I'm going to mark that, and that's where my 12 stitches are. Now, I didn't pull my magic ring super, super tight. So right here at this point, you can still see I have a little bit of a gap. So I am going to pull that magic ring a little bit tighter now that I've finished, and pull those stitches together so that there's less of a gap. And I could have done that earlier, but you can still do it now. And then I don't see any more of that gap. So what we're doing right now is we are making Bailey's foot. And Bailey's foot is going to be a really long leg. It has this white bit. We're going to change to gray. We're going to draw all of these stitches up to make a really long leg. And then what's kind of cute about it is that you fold this leg into a little knot to kind of give him some extra character. I really like that. I think it's cute. It's a cute way of not using stuffing so that it's a little safer for children. But it still has that cute long legs, but with that knot on it. So I will show you how to do the color change here, and we'll keep going with the foot for a little bit. And if you have some questions, let me know. Right now on the pattern, we are at round 3, and round 3 says to single crochet in the next stitch, then do 2 single crochets, which is an increase, and then single crochet in the next stitch 4 times. Repeat that whole thing 4 times to get to 16 stitches. Now, the first time I made Bailey, I messed this part up because I did a single crochet increase and just kept going back and forth, single crochet increase, single crochet increase, but that's not what the pattern says. The pattern says single crochet, increase, single crochet. So then when you start that pattern again, you have to do single crochet, increase, single crochet. So there's going to be 2 single crochets in a row. And that was something that I messed up the first time I was doing this. And I definitely didn't end up with 16 stitches. So do yourself a favor and kind of count as you go so that you make sure that you're on the right track. And it's going to make following the rest of the directions even easier. So with a single crochet, increase, single crochet, I'm going to go into the next stitch I have, and I'm going to go through both parts of the V of my stitch, and I'm going to single crochet. In the next stitch, I'm going to do 2 single crochets in the same spot. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, and that is how I increase the number of stitches I'm going to have on this round. Now the next one is a single crochet, and that finishes that little pattern. So I single crochet, 2 single crochets, single crochet, but now I start the pattern again. So I start again with a single crochet, and that was what I messed up the first time I did this. So single crochet, and then an increase, which means 2 single crochets, and then single crochet, and that finishes the pattern for a second time. it is difficult to see the stitches on this yarn. You're absolutely right. And so then I'm going to do the same pattern, single crochet, increase, single crochet. That's 3. And I'm going to finish this pattern one more time. Single crochet, increase, and where my stitch marker is, I'm going to go ahead and take it out and do one last single crochet where my stitch marker was. And then I'm always going to put my stitch marker right behind where my hook is, on the stitch right behind it. So I know that's my last stitch. Now, if this yarn is acting very tricky for you, once you have the kit and once you have the pattern, go ahead and buy yourself any kind of yarn. Just use any kind of, maybe like an impeccable yarn is a really nice yarn to begin with, and try these things on a different yarn. And then when you feel like you're doing pretty well, then you can go ahead and kind of move up to this trickier yarn. So if you are newer to this, do yourself a favor and use a different kind of yarn to begin with, just so that you can kind of see. So there's a question about repeating that and still being on round 2. So once you're on round 2, you should end up with 12 stitches going around the circle. When you have your 12 stitches, what you're going to begin is round 3. And round 3, what we just finished, says to do a single crochet, increase, single crochet. And it tells you to do that same pattern 4 times. That's what we just did. And we ended up with 16 stitches. So you might want to turn your work to the side to be able to kind of feel your stitches. Sometimes it's easier to feel them than to see them with this yarn, honestly. And you should have at this time 16 different stitches. And rounds 4 and 5 on the pattern say to single crochet in each of those. And at the end, we're going to do it 2 rounds of that. And we're going to change to our CA. And our CA is our gray Chenille. So I'm going to show you that color change coming up too and get you started on that. So I should have 16 stitches all the way around. So I'm going to do round 4. It's just all 16 of those single crochets. I'm going to try to get my count right. Lost my hook. And I got myself to 16. At my stitch marker, that marks my last stitch, which is my 16th stitch. And that is round 4, is doing 1 single crochet in each one of those 16 stitches. Round 5 is going to be to do the same thing, but when I get to the stitch marker on round 5, I'm going to stop and I'm going to do a color change. So I'm going to do 16 single crochets. So I've just done my 15th stitch and I'm at my stitch marker, which marks the 16th one. Oops, there we go. I finished that 15th stitch and I'm about to do my color change. It's natural and it's normal for this to start curling up because we've done two rounds of exactly the same number. So that's starting to build up the length of the bunny's foot. Now I'm going to take some of my gray. And you're not going to tie any knots with this when we do our color change. So when we do our color change, I'm going to start the stitch into my 16th stitch, and I'm going to grab the gray and I'm going to pull the gray through the end of the stitch. So I'm going to take off my stitch marker and I'm going to start my 16th stitch by putting my hook into the 16th stitch, yarning over and pulling through. But then right here, I'm going to put my gray onto my hook, and you're just kind of looping it over and leaving yourself a little bit of a tail. And you're going to pull that through those last two bits. And now you've changed to your gray color. So I'm going to pull that out and show you again. I'm going to start the 16th stitch in white. I'm going to put the V over top of my hook. I'm going to grab the white and pull just that through. And then instead of yarning over and pulling through both of these with white, I'm actually going to be doing that with the gray in order to do the color change. So I just wrap this over my hook. So I have a little bit of tail and I have a little bit of the working yarn. And I'm going to pull this through both of those loops. And you can kind of pull on these to tighten this and make sure that it's okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and start with my gray, and I have now switched colors. So after the color change, round 6 begins. And round 6 says to use this new color yarn, which is the gray Chenille. And it says to do a single crochet and then 2 single crochets together, which creates a decrease, and then a single crochet. And we're going to do that 4 times in order to go back to the number 12 stitches. So with this new color, I'm going to do a single crochet, decrease, single crochet, and I'll show you how to do the decrease. So here's my next stitch that I'm about to work into with the gray. So I'm going to do a single crochet, yarn over with my gray and pull it through, yarn over and pull through both of those. And now I've pretty much secured the gray to my work. So at this point, if I want to, I can cut off the white and kind of free that from the work that I'm doing. So this white is now free. I cut it off. I did leave a little bit of a tail just in case I need that. And then I'm going to go into the next stitch. And with these next 2 stitches, I'm going to be doing a decrease. So the way that you do a decrease is you stick your hook into the first one, yarn over and pull through, and then stick your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through. You have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over one more time and pull through all 3 of those. And what you've done is you have turned those 2 stitches into 1 stitch, so you are able to decrease the number of stitches you have from 2 down to 1. Now the rest of the pattern says to do another single crochet, and that is the pattern. You did a single crochet, decrease, single crochet, and it says to repeat that 4 times. And once you've repeated that 4 times, when we're all the way back around to where this gray began, we can count and double check that we have 12 stitches. So I'm going to start the pattern again with a single crochet. And then I'm going to do a decrease. So for my decrease, I put the hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull it through, stick my hook into the next stitch, yarn over, and pull through, yarn over one last time and pull through all 3 of those, combining those 2 stitches into just 1 stitch. Then I finish the pattern by doing a single crochet. So I've done that pattern twice. I'm going to start the pattern over, single crochet, decrease, putting these 2 stitches together with the decrease. So I combine those 2 into just 1, finish the pattern with a single crochet, and I'm going to do it again. Single crochet, decrease, single crochet. Awesome. And we're back to the beginning. So I was able to change my color to the gray. I was able to do round 6, which told me to do a single crochet, decrease, single crochet. And now we have officially gone over everything you need to do all stitches. We've done our single crochets, we've done our magic ring, we've done our increases and our decreases, and that's all the crochet knowledge you're going to need in order to complete the rest of this pattern. The pattern is pretty easy to follow. I honestly think the hardest part about this pattern is really just the yarn itself, but the yarn itself does end up being a really soft, beautiful bunny, so keep that in mind. And if you want to switch to a different yarn as soon as you have the pattern, you're welcome to try it in different yarns that you're more comfortable with or you're more familiar with. There is going to be some assembly. There are going to be some other things. So I am going to kind of give you a couple more tips and tricks. We're not quite done yet, but I just wanted to get you started on this foot. So let's keep going with this and let's go to round 7. And round 7 says to do a single crochet in each one of those 12 stitches. So I'm going to do 1 single crochet in each of those, and I'm going to count to the 12. Oops, before I do that, I'm going to put my stitch marker in so that I don't lose track. There we go. And I'm going to put my stitch marker behind my hook right where that last stitch is, so I know I'm back at the beginning. All right, now I'm going to do 12 single crochets, and this is going to complete round 7 for us. 1, 2, 4, and I'm back at my stitch marker for my 12th stitch. And there we go. And I'm going to put my stitch marker at the back of this. And now we're starting to build up the rest of the bunny's leg by adding that gray. And to show you again what's going to happen is we're going to have the little white, then we're going to switch to the gray. We're going to make a really long leg. So the pattern starts to get very narrow at this point. We get just 6 stitches around, and we do 6 stitches around. All of round 11 through 25 is just building up the length of the leg. So it's just 6 stitches for lots and lots of rounds over and over again. And then we start building up the width of the leg again to get to kind of the part that's going to attach to the body. And we're going to make 2 of these legs. So once we have the one leg done, it gets done to about here. And then we start over and make the second leg. And then what happens in this pattern is the way that they created the pattern was that once you have the 2 legs finished, you take the second leg that you're working with and you're going to attach in the other leg. And I have kind of started this in some other yarns to kind of be able to show you that. So let me show you. I found it kind of tricky the first time I did it to do. So we are now at round 7 on the pattern. We just finished round 7. We have our 12 stitches. We're going to decrease in 8 and 9 and 10. And then when we get to round 11 through 25, we're just going to keep repeating those 6 stitches for a very long time. So I ended up having a hard time counting to make sure that I was on track with how many rounds I was at because it was so tiny and the stitches are hard to see. And so I ended up having like a carabiner extravaganza here where I just made a mark with a stitch marker at every single one of the ends of the rounds. And so then what I could do at the end was say, this is where round 11 started. So I knew this was my start. I didn't count that one. And then I have 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. And then I knew that I was at the end of that portion and I could start on round 26 where it starts to increase again. So I highly recommend kind of keeping track. Some people like to use paper and tally marks, but when you get to round 11 through 25 and you just repeat the 6, it's hard to keep track of how many rounds you've done. So find some way that works for you. If you have this many stitch markers laying around, then you're crazy like me. Congratulations. Or if you want to use tick marks, or if you want to make some little marks, or if you can count and keep track of that, again, good for you. Like, whoo, I'm impressed if you can do that. So you make all of these, you make this leg, and then what happens is you keep working on the second leg and you start adding it in. So you just do a slip stitch right here to connect the two legs together, and then you stitch around all of them. And that's how you end up continuing to build the body. So once you get the legs connected with a slip stitch, and then you keep going around them, I think it's at like 32 stitches to go all the way around them. And then you're building kind of the little curves or the little hips of the bunny. And then you get back down to, I think it's about 8 stitches, if I remember right here, 4 in the front and 4 in the back, where you're going to attach the head to this body. And you're also going to sew the arms onto this body. So there is a little bit of sewing and there is a little bit of assembly to do also. So I am curious to kind of see, those of you who are still with me, what parts you might want me to go over right now so that when you get to those parts in the kit, I can kind of help you with those. So I do have some pieces ready to go to do a little bit of the assembly. So let me know, do you want to see me keep working on the legs and the body? Do you want to see me switch over to the eyes, the nose, how to assemble? Let me kind of know what things you might need in order to help finish your project, because I want to make sure you have everything you need to be able to do that. So it does look like we want to keep working on the legs, and I can definitely do that. And I will do a little bit of the assembly before we go to, yes, assembly, good. Okay, looks like we're on the same page. So I'm going to jump, and I know that some of you who are working on this are not going to be able to jump with me, but I am going to try and show you what's going on. So I think I'm going to go back on these legs. And this is another one of these. I love, love, love the Skinny Chenille loops and thread yarn. And it comes in lots of different colors. It comes in grays that are pretty similar to the gray that comes in the kit, a little bit off, but pretty similar. The one that comes in the kit is just even softer, in my opinion, than this one. So I really like the gray that comes in the kit. But we have these like blue speckled, we have some white, we have some gray that all comes in the Skinny Chenille. So you can find yourself one of these if you want to keep making these. And I'm going to take this apart a little bit to show you how to connect the legs.
Hey, Megan.
Yeah.
And just in case before you do that, someone messaged me asking, can you do the French knot?
Oh, yes, absolutely. So the French knot is how you're going to do the eyes of the bunny. So I will show you a little bit more about how to do the bunny details and how to do a little bit of the assembly. So let me work on these legs for just a little bit, and then I will switch over and show you some of that assembly. But I'm curious to see how you're doing. So if you don't have your kit yet, make sure you go out and get yourself one, because I think you're going to be able to use that pattern over and over again in lots of fun ways. So I highly encourage that. I'm going to undo this a little bit to show you how I connected the legs together. And you can kind of probably get an idea of what I did just by looking at how I'm taking it apart right now. But you repeat all of the original steps that we did in order to give you 2 legs. And then with the second leg, you don't tie it off the way you did the first leg, because you're about to keep working on that same piece and build those together. So here I'm going to unattach them. Ta-da. So I finished this leg. I have all my rounds. I build back out. I tied this off. So this does have a knot right here and a little bit of a tail. And then I'm finishing up the second leg. It looks like I undid one of my stitches. And I believe there are 16 stitches here going around. So this is in the section where in round 29, it says we're going to slip stitch in the next stitch to secure and fasten off the leg. We did that with our first leg. Then we're going to leave a tail. And then it says do not fasten off the second leg because we're going to keep working with the second leg in order to join it together. All right, so we are going to continue with the same yarn and join the legs in the shape of the body. So this is round 30 where you're going to start connecting them together. All right. So single crochet in the next 16 stitches of the leg. So I already went around these one more time to get to 16. And then I'm going to join the leg with a single crochet in any of the stitches on the first leg. So I'm going to push the tail into here a little bit so that I don't get confused. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a single crochet into any one of these stitches to join these legs together. So I'm going to go through both parts of the stitch. I'm going to yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. And then I'm going to start stitching onto this one. And when I get to the center, I'm going to go all the way. And that's how it's going to connect in the front also. So I'm going to do all these, I think it's 15 stitches since I just did one. Okay. 14 and 15. And then that jumps to the next leg over here. And when I jump to the next leg over here, that's just kind of reinforcing the connection. And then I'm going to do all of those. And then I start building up the rest of the body. You will have a little bit of a gap right here, but you have the tail from the leg that you did tie off. So when you have that little bit of a gap, you're just going to take the yarn needle that comes with your kit and take the tail of the first one and just go through a couple of those stitches. And you can just close up that gap pretty easily. Might only take one stitch, but if you need more than that, you can, just to close up that little gap in between. Then you keep building up the body, and then you're going to be able to have your body that gets attached to all the other pieces. So let's do some more assembling. Let's do some more of the detail. Let's talk about some of the other pieces that we have. So this is what we're going for. We finished all the legs. And then when you finish the rest of that leg, you build back down. That's where you're going to sew on the head. The head is the only part that gets the stuffing. So we have our head is the next section that we do. We create the head, and I have it kind of already created to this part right here. And when you get to a certain point on the head, it tells you to stop and start stuffing it with your polyfill. So because I keep saying that's the only space where you need the polyfill, you can use this entire bit of polyfill into the head because it's the only place you're going to need your polyfill. So you don't need to save any polyfill. There is a little bit on the front of the muzzle, so maybe save just one pinch, maybe just about that much, because when you attach the muzzle to the front of the head, if you have a little bit of polyfill in it to give it those cute little cheeks, that would be good. So maybe just save one little pinch of polyfill and the rest can go into the head. And then after you've done the stuffing of the head, you are going to do a couple more stitches to finish this up. So I believe I'm on round 12 of the head. In round 12 of the head, don't want to lose my... Okay, and round 12 of the head says to single crochet in the next stitch and decrease single crochet to get down to 18. And actually, I already did that. And then after round 12 is when you stuff it. So I stuffed it. And then round 13 says to do a single crochet decrease and do that 6 times. So I'm going to decrease this a little bit because then I'm going to go back and show you how to add on the eyes. Yeah, these are some great ideas in the chat.
And Megan, I did let them know that because there was a comment mentioning wish there was maybe a part 2
Yeah,
of this. So I told them that we would actually discuss it and maybe
sure,
for a class or however.
sure.
So
Yeah,
I definitely know they would love if there was a part 2 to this instead of just this part, this particular part.
awesome. Well, that is good information to hear. So I'm doing single crochet, decrease, single crochet on round 12, and I'm getting the number of stitches down. And then I'm going to kind of fasten off the head, decrease, single crochet. And this is really kind of closing up the circle, single crochet, decrease, single crochet, and single crochet, decrease, oops, decrease, single crochet. And then I believe the next step in this is to do a single crochet decrease and get us down to 8 stitches. Single crochet, decrease, single crochet, decrease, oops, single crochet, decrease, single crochet, decrease. And I should have used my stitch marker so that I could check, but I do believe I'm down to 8 stitches. And then it says to do a slip stitch into the next stitch to secure it. So a slip stitch. And then I'm going to leave a bit of a tail. I think it tells us 12-inch tail. And I'm going to put the tail through here to secure it. There we go. And this is my cute little bunny head. So now that we have our bunny head, I can show you how to attach the eyes and how to do the little muzzle. So after you finish the head in the pattern, there is a spot to create a little muzzle, and the muzzle ends up looking like this. The muzzle does not begin with a magic ring. The muzzle begins with just chains, and you're actually going to chain kind of around. So you make a chain, and then you make it this oval shape by going around both sides of that chain. So that's another kind of tricky part that you may or may not catch right away. But once you have this muzzle, we can sew this muzzle onto the face, and then we can make our little eyes and we can make our little nose by doing a couple of little stitches. So the assembly directions are on your pattern, and it does tell you how to finish off the muzzle. So it says that we're going to add the muzzle. Let's see. Lightly stuff the muzzle with fiber fill. So I just had that little bit. We're going to thread our plastic needle and we're going to weave in and out of the stitches. And then we're going to attach the muzzle. And we're going to position it between rounds 9 and 13 on the head. So if I count from the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So here's 9. So the muzzle is going to go down here between 9 and 13. And I'm going to use these tails, and I'm going to use my yarn needle in order to attach these. Here's an interesting question in the chat that's not really to do with this project, but asking about some earmuffs she's working on. So she wants to have the headband and the shape of the ear covers made, and then figure out a way to attach them without hurting her fingers. So if anyone has any suggestions in the chat to help Desi out, let her know. So I'm going to be putting this between rounds 9 and 13. That's where the muzzle is going to go. I'm going to do a little bit of stitching, and then I'm going to stuff it, and then I'm going to finish the stitching. That's what I'm going to do here. So I'm just going to go through some of the gray stitches and go through some of the white stitches and start kind of seaming them together. Do a little bit more before I start stuffing. And you really don't need that much stuffing here. So this little bit that we have should be perfect. And then I'm going to finish this up with a couple more stitches. I totally understand getting stuck at the magic ring, believe me. I've been stuck on that for a long time. I just did it so many times now that it's kind of second nature. So you will get that. It's just going to take a little bit of time. That is one of the most challenging things to start a crochet project, for sure, this magic ring. Okay, look at that. We already have this cute muzzle. So I'm at the end of attaching my muzzle, and I am going to tie it through a couple stitches and make a knot. So when I pull this through, I'm going to put the yarn over my needle to make a knot. And I might go through one more stitch and do the same thing. And then I'm just going to take my extra yarn and I'm going to go across the muzzle and kind of hide all that yarn inside. And I can cut down the tail a little bit. I'm going to pull it through the muzzle a little bit. This is a little trick to hiding your thread. And then because I pulled it tight, then the yarn kind of retracts and sticks in there, which is adorable. I love that for me to not have to weave that in. I'm also going to pull this extra tail through. Boop. And hide this tail inside. Great. There are other crochet classes that I've already taught. I have one coming up, I think in February, of doing some granny squares if you want to try something else. I also have another one of these kits. This little guy right here is called Casey the Cow. And there's another one of these videos where I kind of show you some of the highlights and kind of run through some of the different parts of the pattern to be able to make this adorable little crochet cow. This one is an intermediate instead of an advanced kit. So if you're struggling with the advanced kit, you might want to go down one and see if you can make Casey the cow. So you can watch that video on YouTube. Felicia just dropped it into the chat. And then I'm going to show you how to do the eyes, and we're just about done with our time for today. So I'm going to take a little bit of the black yarn that was in our kit, and I'm going to make 2 French knots and make 2 little eyebrows. And you're going to do something pretty similar with sewing to get the little nose finished also. So let me grab a little bit of this black yarn from my kit. And I'll put that into my yarn needle. And it tells us again in the finishing and assembly where to put the eyeballs. So let's see where it says our eyes are going to go. So it says thread the plastic needle with black yarn and find the center of the front of the head and stitch eyes between rounds 7 and 8, having 6 stitches between. So I'm going to count, and I'm looking for rounds 7 and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. And the eyes are going to be about 6 stitches apart. So if I put one here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So maybe I need to move it over one more. So kind of at the end of the muzzle, if you put the muzzle on first, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to spread those about here and here. So what I'm going to do for this, there's a couple different ways to do it, but one way I'm going to do is to go through this stitch. There we go. And I'm going to tie a knot, and I will hide that knot and I will hide that tail, but I've kind of attached that onto one of the stitches right there. And then I'm going to come up through the stitch, and I'm going to do what's called a French knot. So here's my knot. I've come back up through the stitch. I'm going to wrap my yarn around this needle a couple times, and then I'm going to push it down through the other side of the stitch where the other part of my knot is. So I'm going to wrap it 1, 2, 3 times. So you've got several rounds on here. And then I'm going to take those 3 rounds and I'm going to put it into the other side of the stitch here. And I'm going to pull all of this through to get that little knot right here. And then I'm also going to pull up. I'm going to take my needle. So I'm pulling these rounds over my thread, over my yarn. And I'm stacking all of those up together to make what's called a French knot. And then you might have seen me come up in the middle here. But what I'm doing is I'm attaching these eyeballs to each other. I'm kind of just cheating. Instead of doing a lot of tying knots and starting over and tying knots and starting over, I stitched all the way through underneath the gray to get to the other side where I'm going to tie the next knot. So I'm going to do that French knot again. And for a French knot, before I get started, I like to go onto both sides of the stitch and tie a little knot to begin with, just to kind of show me where I'm going. And then I'm going to wrap the black yarn around my needle 1, 2, 3 times. And I'm putting the needle through here. I'm kind of holding on to those rounds I did and pulling them over the needle. And then we have our adorable little French knot eyes. So you can make a couple of the French knots if you want your eyes to be a little bit bigger. And then you also are going to do a couple of little eyebrows. So I'm going to go up 1 or 2 stitches, and I'm going to do a little eyebrow here. And I'm going to do a little eyebrow on the other side. And if you want those to show up more, you can repeat those stitches several times. Oops, I'm losing my black. Can't really see this one, so I'm going to go over that one again. And then once you're done, you want to tie yourself a knot. And then you want to hide any of those tails by kind of sewing them through. So I might need to do another one over here to get that eyebrow. And I might need to make sure that my knot goes in here. But when you have it with your, this is the kit yarn, you can see those French knots. I might have done 2 French knots just to make the eyes a little bit bigger. And then with this muzzle stitch, muzzle stitch is a funny way. What you do is you thread with the pink yarn, and you're going to make 2 stitches down to the middle of the muzzle. Make 1 stitch that goes down here to kind of make the little part of the mouth. And then you're going to fill in a couple more stitches just on the diagonal in order to make like a pink little triangle. And then we have our adorable little bunny, Bailey the bunny. You attach the arms. You see I still have some tails I need to weave in. And look at this cute little cotton tail. Oh my gosh. So they show you how to make this tail too. So we are at the end of our time for today. And I want to thank everybody for playing along with me today. I know that we weren't able to complete the whole project because the whole project will take you at least 8 hours to make, but it's worth it. It makes an adorable bunny. Once you have your pattern and once you get going, make it in as many different colors and different ways that you can. If you are able to make one of these Bailey the Bunnies, we would love to see it. So we have an Instagram called Learn with Michaels that's all about all of our classes and all the different projects that we're working on. So you can follow us at Learn with Michaels. You can tag us at Learn with Michaels with your picture of Bailey the Bunny. And I am excited to see what you create. So thank you so much for joining, and I can't wait for you to show us what you make. Bye, everyone.